Hello, friends. How long has it been since you cleaned your kids' rooms? I know, definitely for me, okay, hopefully you're in the minority and you don't have to deal with this, but it's been about 8 weeks since I've cleaned my kids' rooms, and that was in the last video. I'll link it for you down below if you want to check it out. It was pretty wild. So I will say since the 8 weeks, we've come pretty far, but you know, like most things in life, it's an ongoing process. But I've been really proud of us. I've been really extremely proud of the kids. But now, you know, it's time for that bi-monthly, two-month mark where I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna clean it my way, because I want to know that my house is clean. Okay, maybe you're a little bit better at it and you're in the minority and you do it more often, but for me, I definitely don't. So if you need some motivation today to get your kids' rooms cleaned up, then this one's for you. I also have piles and piles of laundry to do, so we're gonna have a ton of laundry motivation at the end because I had a lot to do, but it was great because I also got the kids' closets stocked up. So grab your productivity limbs and some hydration because I got a lot to go over. Not only a lot to do that we're going to get done today for motivation, tons of cleaning motivation, but also I have some conversational points that I want to go over and have a little chat for some things that's been on my mind. So I'm starting off today in my daughter's room. I'm handling her closet. This is my teen daughter's closet. And one of the things that's been crazy in here is just the organization. And also in her bedroom, it just really needed to be clean. She's pretty good at the most part for keeping her room clean, but you know, she likes to change outfits and get ready and all that jazz. So, you know, clothes is a big thing for her that kind of ends up everywhere. So some of this stuff I had to make a guess and take a sniff, but for the most part, you know, I decluttered all the dirty laundry and I separated that and put up all the clean laundry. This was definitely one of the biggest projects on my to-do list for this week. I've actually needed to clean this closet since I did the office makeover. When I was doing that, she was asking me to help her in here. There's just a lot going on in here, and if you've ever been overwhelmed with a space staring you down and not knowing what to do with it, I try to be lenient is not the word, understanding, you know, that sometimes our kids also need help and they also don't even really understand what to do, and they just need some guidance. So this is kind of one of the first times, I think it might have been the second time, honestly, but either way, this is our first year here in this house, so she hasn't really gotten the groove down on like how this closet's going to operate for her, and I'm okay with that because I've been in the same boat with the whole rest of our house. So I'm coming in here to clean this up for her and get some organization. Since the last time that I cleaned her room, we did put a dresser in her room, and she got some other things put in her room as like a little makeover, so she's becoming accustomed to that, and she still hasn't decided like where the clothes are going to go yet either. So on this day I did go ahead and sort that out, and I gave everything a home for her so she could try to follow that in her own quest when it's time for her to clean her own room. She's also 14, so she doesn't have much toys and things. We just have some keepsakes in here. She does come in here and play with the cousins and her sister every now and then, and she has her little things in here, but for the most part, it's just things that we're holding on to. So, you know, toy organization and all that jazz kind of is just out the window at this point for her age group. But you see she has her Lego sets set up. My kids love Legos. Actually, the one that Jordan built me, it was so cute. I shared it in the story. I'm going to link it down below if you want to check it out. It's so cool. It's like a new Lego theme. It's flowers, so if you want to get that for your kid this Christmas, I'll have it linked in the description box down below. But she stayed up one night and she built it for me, and she left me the cutest little note, so you'll have to check that out later in the video when I get to Jordan's room. It was such a cute little reminder that, you know, our kids are watching, and sometimes we learn different I don't know if it's characters, but we learn different lessons in life and in life values with all different kind of things, and I think Legos is one of those things. So practicing patience and, you know, hard work. And it was cute because in the note Jordan mentioned how hard she worked to complete this for me, and I really appreciated that. And when you're in a place and you're a successful person, you're a healthy person, you have to learn to understand that in some ways the feat isn't really the task that matters. It's really just a lesson learned, and sometimes you can learn the same lesson from a job that's smaller or less hard. It's just all about the journey. And so it's really cute. And I appreciate when there's a thing that they do and I'm like, wow, there's a lesson in that. And I love that, you know? So I'm somebody that constantly has ideas. I constantly want to be doing something. And then I have my days where I just don't, I just don't want to do anything. And so that kind of has kept me from having a consistent daily routine because overall I look at my task list basically more broadly. Instead of seeing it daily, I see it weekly. So when I see something that is collecting or not done, it stops paralyzing me in my space to where I feel bad about myself. I don't deal with that anymore because I've learned to just let go and do what works for me. So basically, like, I have my set amount of things that I want done basically, but I don't have to like stay up on them every day, because then I get stuck in this like, oh, if I don't do it just like this, then like my whole day is going to be ruined, or this, that, and the third. So I just try to relax in that kind of way when it comes to routine. So I don't necessarily have like a very strict routine, but I do have a lot of consistency with my method. And if you're struggling right now to just feel like you're getting it together, or maybe you're just like, why can't I get it together, or be like so-and-so, or this, that, and the third. And it's like, instead of thinking of it in terms like that, just think of it in the way that you just have to get started. It doesn't necessarily have to be a step-by-step. It doesn't necessarily have to be a this day and a that day, or this zone and a that zone. It just needs to be what works for you. Because like, for instance, me, like, obviously I'm married, to James, and I have the girls here and they're older and capable, but for the most part, like, I take care of the house solo, like, James works so much and the kids have school, and like in the school year, it's pretty crazy because they have school, they have extracurricular activities, plus I have them doing a couple of chores, and then, they're kids, so they totally need downtime and relaxing time as well, because they don't have as much practice in, time management and decompressing. So don't get me wrong, I definitely have my moments where I blow up and I'm like, look, everybody grab something, it's time to help me clean, but other than that, outside of that, I do handle the household chores and the household management by myself, on top of the fact that I do run my YouTube channel as well, for a side business, and I'm just constantly always taking in information anyway, because I like to learn, so that's what I like to do in my free time. But just balancing all of that, it's like, you have to remember and give yourself not grace, but like, learn to live in your own flow. You know what I mean? We all have so many different pain points and struggles and circumstances and roles and hats. And I just want to give you a reminder to just not get sucked up. It's not about getting sucked into what you're seeing online and seeing in your environment, because I still feel like that's a key important thing for us to be exposed to, because I think we're very social creatures, and I think that helps us have a frame of mind. But at the same time, like, we have to learn what works for us. And unfortunately, we can't just have somebody come in and tell us what to do, because at the end of the day, we would be like, who the heck are you? Like, you don't know what I have to do. Like, it's always circumstantial, because nobody knows what's going on when no one's around. You know what I mean? So it's like, you understand the whole totality of like the ship that you have to run. And so give yourself a little bit more leeway and time to get in your own flow, and don't get so wrapped up in just the hustle bustle routine of like what everyone else is doing. Because like sometimes it's crazy, but it's like, what do you mean you didn't clean your kids' rooms for 2 months? But it's like, on one end, they're learning to take care of their rooms by themselves, but also like I need to have some control because I want to know what's going on in here. I kind of want it done my way. I still feel like that's my duty, at least for me, that I want to do for them. And then it's like, I don't want to go in there every day. It's like, sure, when the kids were smaller, I took more time out to go into their rooms when they were very small. That's because we were just hanging out more. But now we're really not. They're doing their own thing for the most time, unless we're carving out family time and stuff. So, I'm trying to do my own thing. I have work to complete. I'm trying to do household tasks. I want to hang out with my husband. I'm trying to get out with friends. Like, I'm on the phone. I'm cleaning this. Like, I'm watching something, and I'm just putting that to the side, honestly, and that's what I've always preached here on my channel, that I am definitely one of those people that has carved out my relaxation by not doing something, because I've had a small support system. So just for the simple fact of like not losing my sanity, I've had to just put doing things to the side so that way I can feel like I'm getting a mental break, if that makes sense. But I've come so far in that time frame, just from my practice, working on my own flow, and then obviously my kids getting older, and us, maybe it's not perfect and it's not very complex, but we have developed a routine that has worked for us. So I've gotten a lot better, and I have a lot better state of mind over managing and caring for the house. But with that being said, the point that I wanted to make to you is that what I've established is that I have to just get started, and I know how I am, and I know my habits, and I know what's going to work, and I know what's going to be good for my flow, and I will choose not to do it because like I am that person. I'm really just hey, let's get this done right now, or let's not do it. And I'm really just one of those people where I need to get started. So getting started for me and just getting a little bit momentum helps me to just feel better and get a lot more done, which helps me to stay more consistent. Not necessarily to have a routine, but get more consistent to where I don't feel like I'm falling so far behind all the time. I definitely set out to have like a really transformative year this year, not just with like new things, but just new habits and consistencies all around, like with my channel, with our stocking up our house. I started that new challenge where I'm trying to stock up our house with food and supplies, which I'm aiming for bi-weekly purchasing. You'll have to let me know down below if you got started with me or not. I'm also trying to get back into working out. So I don't want to add too much to my plate, obviously, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, you have to do a little bit and start, because like life's craziness is never going to end. It's not like things are just going to drastically change and we're just not going to have to do them. So it's like we have to learn to fit these things into our flow. Otherwise, you know, we're just never going to make the time to do them because we're always going to have an excuse. Look at these cute boots. I got these in the summertime at Meijer. They always have really cute like coats and boots on clearance there. I didn't find a coat there just as of yet, but usually around this time, I try to always make sure that I find snow pants, a coat, and boots for the kids. I really love shopping the thrift store for the snow pants though, because I try to find them for, you know, every kid if they don't have any in that new size at that point. Here's the flowers right here that Jordan built me with the Lego set. This is just a piece of them. I'll insert a picture of like the full bouquet. It was super cute. The story behind the Legos was I told her to go to bed one night and she wasn't going to sleep. So I came back in and I made her go to sleep. She had been working on this while I was cleaning her room, because she also cleaned up most of her room before I even got started, if you notice in one of the clips. But anyway, so I ended up coming up here like, you need to go to sleep and you're going to be grounded, you know. And she was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. So then when I woke up in the morning, she ended up having these flowers in this little vase shoved down in there. And it said that on the note. It was like, this took longer than I thought. It was harder work than I thought, but I did it for you. You're welcome. Love you and stuff. And it was just so cute and melted my heart. So I'm like, oh, here she was putting in all this hard work to like make me something. And I was scolding her. Nonetheless, it was time for bed because there was school the next morning. But it was super cute that she was so diligent for a few hours putting that together for me. Sometimes in the thick of life, it's easy to get wrapped up and not feel appreciated by your family, especially when you feel like you're doing everything. It makes me happy for the things that I'm able to do for them. But sometimes, you know, you're hit with those feel-good moments where you're like, oh, well, that actually was really sweet, you know. Savannah also had done the same recently. We were driving and she's been trying really, really hard in school this semester to get caught up and do better than our first semester since the move. So I've been really proud of her for being so diligent there. But we were talking and hanging out, and I don't remember what we were talking about or whatever, but she was like, you're my best friend, Mom. You're my bud. And I was like, yeah, that's really cute. I love you. And I was having such a rough morning, and like, you know, I hated everything at that morning, and you know, I was just over everything and frustrated, and we were on our way to school and we were just talking, you know, I was kind of like hiding my feelings a little bit, and then she was like, why wouldn't I tell you, blah blah blah, you're my bud. And that also like melted my little heart, and it felt really great because she's a teenager and I just feel like, you know, she's becoming her own person. So it's nice to still feel that connection. And those are also the moments that remind me of why I'm showing up for them and doing things for them, because soon, yes, they are going to have to do all these things on their own and take care of their own homes, their own rooms and stuff. But they also have to learn how to do that in the process. And I think one of the best ways to learn is through, you know, watching others, obviously picking up on tips and taking away the best parts, you know, that you feel like you're going to use, and then you implement that. And that's kind of how I do my learning with them with the housework, is that it's not technically their responsibility, but you know, they have their time to kind of work with it, and then things are on my time, you know, and then I kind of go in and do it my way so they can see how it's, you know, probably better done. But then they also have to learn to work with it themselves too. So I don't know, this is just what I've been doing, but you know, only time will tell.
mi habitación.
So here's my piles and piles and piles of laundry. You're seeing quite a few of them right here, but then I also pull out a couple more. I think in total I ended up doing, I think like 9 or 10 loads of laundry. Yeah, I just had some laundry here and then it turned into, hey, let's wash and then dry and then just throw it here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this happened. And I was like, this is what happens when you're not paying absolute attention to it. This is the reality. But anyways, I was really proud of myself because I did that full laundry room reset like 2.5 months ago or something. Like, it's been quite a while, so I haven't had this much laundry in like over 2 months, and so that's a record for me, because I have been being pretty consistent with it, and the kids will come grab their clothes and take them up and do like a little bit of them here and there. But I'm just not very great at let's wash, dry, and then put it away immediately. See, the problem that I have with laundry is that we have to wash it, and then that takes like an hour or two, and then you have to dry it, and then that takes an hour or two, and then we have to sit down and fold it for like another few minutes to, like 15 minutes. And it's like by the time you do the one load of laundry, it takes up so many hours in my thinking brain, and I'm already like on to the next thing. So when I currently have a moment and I'm starting laundry and switching a load, that's basically all I'm getting to until usually like much later in the day. It usually happens at night because I usually put a load in at night and I set my washer to wash in the morning. So when I wake up, my washer's already going because it has a timer. So it starts in the morning on its own. And then when I get back from taking the kids to school and stuff, I will I'll switch to laundry. So I'll put some in the dryer and put some more in the washer. And then usually by then, I usually forget about it. Unless I switch the load, but then still I don't think about it again until evening because it takes more time away. So my dilemma with laundry is that it's never all able to be done in the moment when I have time. So it takes too much back and forth thinking space for me to really stay up on it. But my method is just go ahead and wash it and get it dried. So like we always have clean laundry. It's just not always where it's supposed to be. And, just a few times a year, it just gets to be a mound, but I always reel it back in. I always do my laundry reset and get it back in order because just looking back, like I can remember really hectic, stressful days when I was a new mom and I just couldn't get it together. And I was just, I was just like so alone and overwhelmed and I couldn't stay up on anything. And then I remember when I had to deal with the death of my dad and it was just like the life changes and just everything just got to be so much. And I mean, you can say I was depressed, right? I don't like using depressed as like a verb. I don't like to be depressed. It's just a state of something that's happening and we have to kind of get out of it. Because I just don't believe that everybody is actually clinically depressed where, it's like an actual thing for everybody, but that's just me. Don't come for me. But that was just something I really struggled with. And I did have those times where I wouldn't do anything. Like I just couldn't take care of the house properly because I just didn't know where to start. But now, ever since then, sometimes this does happen, but I always get it back together because I just don't want to get back to those days where I can remember just trying to find something in the basket every single morning and the kids asking me for things. And it's like life would just be so much more easier and functional if you just had these things in its place because it would eliminate so much stress. And so now I really put that stress on myself to like get this taken care of. And now, even though this happens, to me every couple of months, it's in part of me staying consistent in other areas. So that's, what I have to remind myself is like, oh, hey, I also cleaned all this other stuff on rotation all month long instead of just only doing the laundry every day. You know what I mean? So, we'll get there, you know what I mean? But I'm doing so much better. So I hope if you have some laundry and you're overwhelmed, you just go ahead and get it all washed and let's just sit down and get it folded and done. I promise you, like even doing all this loads of laundry, it still only took me like a couple hours in total to just take care of all this laundry by myself too. So I promise you, you can do it. The feet just look so much larger staring down at you. And sometimes even what I like to do is if you have all your laundry in a pile, because it's something that needs to be done, is I will just go into the other room with a basket, and then I'll just work on one basket at a time, like I just washed it, except it's kind of that concept, except everything's ready to go. So you can just kind of go in there and continuously go back and forth filling up your basket, but you don't have to actually stare at the pile and the mound while you're folding it. And that helps take away some of like that mental strain and stress of what's staring you down. But either way, I promise you can get it taken care of. Something that's really cool is me and my friend, we just decided to do a service swap. So I'm going to go to her house and I'm going to help her fold and hang and sort all her laundry that she has washed. And she's going to do my hair for me. And it's really cool. I'm excited to help her with that because I know how overwhelming it can be. She just started a new job and she's in a new season of life. So like, it's really hard to get back into the swing of things when you've gotten accustomed to a certain way. But now it's like you're on a schedule and a time crunch and like, you need those new routines. So hopefully I can help her by getting all that together, and she's going to do my hair. So that's cool. If you have a friend in your area or a family member who's kind of in the same boat, maybe you guys can do that or support one another. And if you're lucky enough to have an actual family member come over and help you with chores, then that would be great when you're overwhelmed. But like I said, if you don't, I promise you, like, you can get this together just a little by little.
All of you, baby, baby. Nothing less than that will do, baby, baby. You take me higher, higher, higher. You set my soul on fire, fire, baby. You gave me like no one before, yeah. You don't need me, but you want me more and more. Something I adore, and I know, I'm sure, I feel with you. So just stay, you'll stay, I'm yours, babe. It's true. You take me my soul on fire, fire, baby. You gave me like no one before, yeah. You don't need me, but you want me more and more. It's true. You take me. Set my soul on fire, fire, baby.
I every time I edit these deep cleaning videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking when I got out of bed and did this? And really, it was the fact that I really wasn't thinking. I just started, and sometimes I get ready, but for the most part, I roll out of bed, I do what I got to do in the morning, and then I just go ahead and get started like I'm having my normal day. And, just remember, taking away from this video today, to just go ahead and start with whatever the most important thing is in front of you, and deal with the second parts after that. Don't get so wrapped up in everything that you have to do, and the complete list, and the complete, totality of just everything that needs done, that you would like done. Just focus on what actually needs done in front of you. And for me, always, I just feel so much better knowing that the kids' stuff is taken care of. I got James's work clothes here washed up. We got towels ready for the week. I'll elaborate on this in the future too. But just focus on what's in front of you that needs to get done, that's going to help in the moment. Build up that momentum and take it from there. We all got to get in our own flow and get in our own vibe. And I'm not even going to mention the ant flow that throws us off completely. I won't even go into that because she needs to stay in her own area of the planet. What do you guys think of the Halloween decor? Did you see my recent Halloween decorate video? The big one that I did was the fall decorate video. I'll link it here if you want to check it out. We're coming up on Halloween, so I'm sure you're probably in that vibe already, but if you're not and you want to kind of check that out, I'll link it for you here. I did do a crap ton of cleaning in that video in the whole entire house, but I also decked it out to make it really cute for fall too. Something hilarious that I noticed when I was editing this video is my vacuum says max life at the top, and I was like, that is so funny, because the kids now, they always say that they're maxing when they're doing like a really good job doing something. It's like their stats are max, and it's like, this vacuum, yeah, this is putting my cleaning on max. That's totally a horrible old mom thing. Wow, I've become that person where I'm like, I don't think that's cool anymore. But it's okay. I'm so happy and blessed and grateful to see another day. I hope you enjoyed your time here with me today, and you check out some other videos if you're still looking to get some motivation and you're new here, because I know we've gained a ton of new friends, and I'm so happy that you're here. So I'll definitely be seeing you soon in the next one. We're going to be doing some stocking and pantry stuff.